Well, it happened again. This time, it came from a different tree. These two smaller oaks are on the edge of my yard, right along the street side. They occasionally drop some small limbs. Nothing this big has ever fallen out of one before, though. But in view of what's happened in the past 6 months, it's appropriate that it should happen now. What I really love, though, are these beautiful pink lilies that are growing up out of the wreckage of this giant limb that has fallen. I'm sure there's a wonderful metaphor here. I'm just not sure what it's for. This keeps up, I'm gonna have to get a special permit just to burn this. Darn. Good morning. I love this time of day. It's not quite 6 a.m., but I'm out here because it's 76 degrees and clear. And later on today, it's going to be like 95 with a heat index of 101. So I'm sitting here on my front steps sipping my coffee, waiting on it to get a little more daylight. Because when it does, I think we're going to get on top of Pearl and see if we can't do a little roof evaluation today. There are a lot of things that need to be done on the outside of her roof. So let's just take inventory and see what needs to happen. But it's not light enough to do that yet. So I'm going to finish my coffee and just enjoy the moment. there's always one. Temperatures are still in the 70s out here, but the humidity is ridiculous. So I'm already starting to perspire profusely. This ain't gonna take long, but we gotta do a quick evaluation. There's what got hooked up of what's going on here on the roof. The tarp has done a good job of protecting everything. You know, we checked a while back and discovered there was no lichen growing. That's great news. Everything else has stayed dry. Even the parts that would leak in the rain, like the AC opening, the vent that's not even covered. You can see the 4 holes where we took out those bolts a couple of months ago. Those obviously need to be filled. This vent area has got to be covered. None of this is doing any good. We actually need to, I guess, get a plate cut to fit there, or maybe something to fit over it. Screw it down in place and seal it up. Now this opening, it's where the air conditioner unit sits. It's covered with wood and with wire. It was covered with plastic. That's all worn out. And of course the tarp keeps it covered too. Now here's the thing. I'm nowhere near buying a new air conditioner at this point. As I pointed out earlier, my glasses are fogging up. As I pointed out earlier, the AC I took off works, believe it or not. But it's old. It weighs about 200 or 300 pounds, and I don't know how long it might work. So I think I'm much better off in the long run investing in a new unit, which will be more efficient, much more lightweight, and we can cross that bridge when the time comes. We're still a long way from that time. The cutout for the AC unit and also for that vent up front are exactly the same. There's a standard RV roof cutout of 14 inches, 14-inch square. Or is it 16? I think it's 14. Anyway, it's standard, okay? So anything will fit anywhere. That's the idea. We talked about replacing the vent up front a couple of bids back, and I told you I thought I'd go ahead and invest in one with a nice fan, reversible fan, so that airflow could be controlled and everything. But after thinking about it and talking things over with Ree, we came up with a bit of an alternative plan at this point in the game. This point being that we're a long way from living or even traveling in Pearl right now. So for the time being, I think I'm going to invest in 2 of the cheapest vent covers I can find. All right, and install those. And they will be there to protect the inside, keep the rain out, and give us something to work around when we do resurface the top of Pearl. And then when the time comes, they can be replaced. with a fancy vent up front and an air conditioning unit in the middle. Because I ain't traveling in this old girl without a good air conditioner. I have lived in the South all my life. I know heat. I'm experiencing it right now, as a matter of fact. So let's move on. This little metal jewel right here was something they installed to put a CB antenna on. At present time, I'm not thinking about putting in a CB. I may later, I don't know. But anyway, for now, that's going to go. It's screwed in place, so it can come off, but it's going to leave screw holes that'll have to be filled, okay? That piece of black tape is covering two openings where vent pipes came up. It has to be covered. Ditto for the front up there. There's a hole right there that's covered up too. And for right here, this is where they had a TV antenna installed here, and that's where the hole went through for the crank to raise and lower the antenna. So it has to be properly covered up. So let's do a little quick inventory here. Before we can even think about recovering the roof, what do we have to cover? 4 bolt holes, an air conditioner opening, a vent opening, the refrigerator vent opening, which is sizable. It's about 4 by 14 inches, I think. 3 vent openings, and that's for round PVC pipe. 2.5-inch pipe, maybe, something like that. That the vents were made of. There's 3 of those. And then there's an opening, I don't know, it's maybe 1/2 inch, where the crank for the TV antenna went through. Most of these, I know the crank and the refrigerator vent both have holes around them for screws. They'll have to be filled. Oh yeah, and there's the CB mount, that metal heavy steel mount that they installed in the middle. We'll take it out. There's not a hole there, but there are screw holes, and those will have to be filled. There are 2 or 3 other holes in this roof. For whatever reason, I don't know if they had something screwed there at some point and then filled a hole, or if it just a hole came in and they had to fill it. So those need to be checked also. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting something. The seams down the middle. Remember how this roof is built? See these 2 seams? They go right down the middle, and there's about a 8 to 10 inch space between them. Okay, they go from front to back. The deal with them is that Mobile Traveler made 2 different models of RVs, and they were different widths. This is the larger and wider. This is the 21-foot model. It is almost a full 8 feet wide. That's the widest vehicle that you can drive on an American road without a special permit. So it's right at 8 feet side to side on the outside measurement. They made a smaller version, like an 18 or a 19 foot, that was not as wide. It was 16 and a half, 17 feet wide. And they used the same roof for both of them. The roof was in 2 pieces. The 2 side pieces that go out and roll down over the side. If you had the smaller RV, the 2 pieces fit right together, and there's 1 seam down the middle. To use the same roof on the larger one, they simply inserted a piece in the middle to fill the space and did 2 seams. It's really an ingenious solution. Whenever we first got Pearl, though, those seams were seeping. They wouldn't exactly leak, but Pearl's roof, without any additional support underneath it especially, is like that. It's got dips and pits and valleys, peaks and valleys in it. Because it's so old, it's been through numerous hailstorms sitting on a parking lot in Nebraska. So yeah, it's seen some wear and tear. And because of that, the roof is not even, and water tends to pool on it. Well, when water pools on those seams, it will seep through. That's the reason 2 years ago we went in and sealed those seams on the inside with some foil waterproof tape. And that seems to be doing the trick. I think we're good with that. No problem. And once we get a total roof cover on here, that'll add even more protection. But before we get to that roof cover, we obviously have some openings to fill. The big ones being the AC and the vent. And we're going to fill those with cheap vents. I'll install them, I'll seal them in, I'll screw them down in place. They will literally be there and doing their job until such time as we decide to replace them with something a little fancier or better. Going to have to do some custom work on that refrigeration vent. That's going to, I think I'm going to talk with my my nephew Adam again. You know, he's been here. He's done a lot of, he helped me get the AC off. He and Geneva built, or actually welded in, the battery rack in place. And they've been over here several times to help me with projects on Pearl. And bless her heart, little Abby, their daughter, is over here as often as she can, helping me out too. So I think I'm going to talk to Adam. He's pretty good at forming metal, and see what idea he has for filling that gap. Okay, so that's that. As for the holes, I've got the three round the three round holes where the pipes came through, the vent pipes, that need to have a metal patch over them or some sort of patch from inside that I can seal in place. And everything else is just a matter of really screw holes. I would like your comments on the best way to fill those out. What are your ideas? I mean, I know we can fill them full of, some sort of putty or solvent and something that'll harden and seal them up. I'd like something a little more substantial. I had thought about maybe finding some sort of plug to put in there, a rubber plug of some sort of grommet or anything like that. It would have to be solid, to cover the hole. Especially these larger bolt holes in the rear where I took those big bolts out. And the one also where the antenna goes through. Let me know what you think. Put it in comments below. Give me some ideas on how to fill these openings on the top of Pearl. Because I'd like to get them filled so that we can look at actually resurfacing the roof on her and get away from having to use this tarp. Till then, I'm going to keep it tarped. It'll be protected. There'll be no problem there. So for the time being, here when we finish today, I'm going to pull the tarp back up on her. There's not a hurry because I don't think it's going to rain for the next week or so. Not according to our forecast. We've got lots of heat with lots of heat index values for the next 4, 5, 6 days. And some temperatures flirting between 95 and 100 degrees. I'm talking real temperatures. It's supposed to get up to about 96 or so this afternoon once the sun gets high and riding across the sky. That's the reason I'm out here at 7 o'clock in the morning talking to you about this, because it is relatively cool right now. It's into the mid and upper 70s, but there's a slight breeze, and actually with this high humidity, that breeze kind of feels pretty good. You get a little bit of evaporation, so it is semi cool. But I'm looking forward to getting back inside under my air conditioner even now. Those are the openings in Pearl's roof. Give me your ideas on filling them up. Because with all the work we've done on the inside, you know, sealing things, putting in our, additional bracing and supports going across, and we're still going to come back with our waterproof plywood panels and put them in. That'll help support this flimsy metal roof, and also maybe, just maybe, even out some of these peaks and valleys that I was talking about a few minutes ago. I'm hoping it will anyway. Still quite a bit to do, and I can't do any of it today. But there's always tomorrow. Or in this case, maybe 2 weeks if it cools off. So, till it does cool off a little bit, I think I'm going to head inside, get under that AC, and cool off myself. Yeah. And you know, as I walk up here, it occurs to me there is one more thing that I had thought about trying to do today on Pearl. I want to get into the gas tank, sort of. One of the upcoming projects is going to be to drop and clean out the gas tank. I don't know what's in there right now. I don't know if there's any liquid, if there's any gas, or maybe water's leaked into it. I just don't know at this point. So my idea is I've got the opening covered right now. I'm going to uncover it and get, I don't know, a length of hose, a plastic tube, a rope, something, and put down in that spout till I get into the tank and bottom out, and then pull it back out and see if it's wet. See if there's anything on it. That's going to be the first step. So, I thought about doing that today, but you know what? It's getting too hot out here. So I think we'll put that off for another time. In the meanwhile, also in your comments, give me your ideas about checking a gas tank, a fuel tank. What do I need to do before I actually get ready to get under there, undo the straps, and drop it? And then once I drop it, I've never cleaned out a gas tank before. I'll have to go to YouTube University about that, but if you have some comments and ideas, I would love to hear them now. Please put them below. Let me hear from you, okay? While you're down there, give me a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hey, 201 subscribers. Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you! You helped me reach my goal. We're still a few videos away from number 200, but it is getting closer. And if we can have even more subscribers by the time we get there, that'd be fantastic. 201 subscribers. Thank you, my nomies. You guys are fantastic. Thanks for joining me every week here on the MT and Me and putting up with all my shenanigans as I try to get this RV back on the road. I appreciate you. I love each and every one of you. Be sure and be here again next week. Next time around, maybe we'll get to that gas tank. In the meantime, give me your comments. You'll find links below to the mtandme.com, a link to buy me a coffee, and as we said, subscribe, thumbs up, all that stuff. All right? Thank you. I love you, my nomies. You take care. Whew. Stay cool above all else. I'm Russ. We will talk later.